Blow up your business and focus on what you want to focus on by bringing on virtual assistants to your real estate investing business. Hey guys, welcome into the Fearless Investor Podcast. You're listening to me, Kyle Stanley, and I've got a reoccurring guest, my good friend Stratton Brown and business partner. He's here in Fresno, and he started basically a virtual assistance business where he's literally training and coaching people to talk to your sellers and get you leads, and outsources the entire lead gathering process for super cheap and affordable. And he's getting people great results. This thing is blown up very quickly. And I told him I wanted to see some results first before getting him on the show. And he's starting to get people great results. I'm like, okay, I can get behind this now. And that's the big thing. I'm always wanting to get behind something before I really can share it with you guys comfortably. So let's get to it with Stratton. But before we do, make sure that if you have not already, as I mentioned on Tuesday, we have our brand new Airbnb Kickstart course that is going to be released in about a week. And you can get registered right now to get a 25% discount all the way up till December 20th. All you have to do is go to fearlesskyle.com/Airbnb host. You go down to the very bottom of the page, click on register now, and you're not paying for anything. You're not getting any sort of you don't have to purchase anything. You just literally are getting on a list that as soon as this course comes out, you're going to get the 25% off. And that is going to give you an opportunity to be able to get a great start to an Airbnb course that can literally create a six-figure business. And it's crazy what we're giving this away at, but I'm really excited about it. And I want you to be a part of it. So make sure, again, fearlesskyle.com/Airbnb host, go down to the bottom, click on register now so you can get that 25% off before December 20th. Now let's get to it with Stratton Brown. We're talking about VAs and his business, his new business, which is getting people great results, called Call Magicians. Hey guys, welcome back in to another episode of the Fearless Investor Podcast. You're seeing a familiar face, my good friend and business partner, Stratton Brown. Stratton, thanks for being with us today, man.
Of course, man. Thanks for bringing me on.
So, we talk about a lot of things. We've talked about wholesaling. That was one of the first episodes that I had you on when I first started the podcast back almost a year and a half ago. Crazy to think it was already almost a year and a half ago. And then we had you on talking about Subject to, and that's the business that you and I run together. But I want to give you some love because you're blowing up this business with virtual assistants, and you're not just doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for other people too. And I think this is something that, I know you know me, but I know a lot of people that are listening, they know I don't bring on people unless I think there's some great value to add. And virtual assistants is just like, if you're not doing it, you're going to be a slave to your own business for the rest of your life. And I think that you have been one of the quickest to master the virtual assistant model. So I want to bring you on and just let's just talk about the evolution of, when did you first bring on your first virtual assistant, even to your own business in wholesaling?
I wouldn't have known what a VA was unless I worked with Alan, and we had a dude named Deepak who handled a whole bunch of shit for us. And he's like, get Deepak on the phone. And he'd answer the phone. And that was my first experience with the virtual assistant. And he handled all of our admin stuff. Okay. And he was super cheap, and he scrubbed a bunch of stuff for us. And I was like, how much you paying this guy? I was like, $3 an hour. I was like, really? He's like, oh yeah.
It's nuts.
And I was like, well, that's nuts. And then my first experience hiring on a virtual assistant, I went on Upwork and I hired on this Jamaican girl. She said she had call center experience, and she'd cold called for investors. I was like, okay, sweet. I hire her on. And then 3 weeks later, I'm like, where the hell are all of my leads? You said you have experience. I gave her a dialer and everything else, but I didn't train her. And you're just hiring on another employee.
Right.
And so that was a couple $100 lost. And that was my first experience with virtual assistants way back when.
Okay. Which way back when for your career really is just last year. So
yeah, right? 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Last year is my first year on my own. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like a decade.
Well, as we mentioned, you got a lot of hands in the pot. So you're doing a lot of different things. But okay, so a lot of people at that point with getting a virtual assistant Probably would have been like, well, this doesn't work. I just wasted a couple $100, but you kept on going. So tell us about your next experience.
What was my next experience? And then I went on and off with cold callers, had to train them a little bit more, had to listen to their calls. And then I had admin ones too. So people who I'd be like, okay, I need this list scrubbed, this and that. Will you please go do that? And I'd screen record a video, send it to them. Like, I want it done exactly this way. And send me the results when you're done. Let me know if you have any questions. And
Okay. And when you say scrub a list, can you tell our audience what you mean?
So when you get a big list, let's say you get a list of like 30,000 people, and I'd say 1/4 of those are at least duplicates. Another fourth are, 1/4 duplicates. And then the next fourth is a massive amount of just like one property owner, like the whole Venetians own 3,000 properties here in Fresno, like 1/3 of the market share. And so we have to go scrub off all of their different LLCs. And then we have to go scrub off any trusts that we can't pull out any, if there's no name in there, right. And if it's just like some random trust, then there's no way for us to find it. If it's a trust and it says like James Cameron Real Estate Trust, then they'll go in and they'll just put James in the first name column, Cameron in the last name column, get rid of the real estate trust, and then keep on moving. So they have to go through and sort through everything else to make sure there's names where we need it to be, so we can get as much out of that list as possible.
How long were you doing all of that stuff on your own?
I still personally touched a lot of my data because I've had a bad experience where I lost a couple grand.
Okay.
I came back from the Steve Trang event. I was like, oh, I went and bought this fat list to text message on, and I had to format it a certain way. So if it has anything to do with like formatting it, I'll make sure I do it. I haven't let go of that yet.
Okay.
Was one cell off, and I sent out like thousands and thousands and thousands of text messages to the wrong person, and I didn't catch it until.
Oh no. Just from one little.
Yeah. With Excel, it's so easy. If you're one cell off and you're one cell slid over, your entire sheet is trash. So you just got to be conscious of that.
Okay.
They handle a bunch of other admin stuff for me, but when it comes to something that I know, no matter what, it's going to be like it's make or break, I still handle that.
So I've got a lot of questions on that, but before I do, I want to kind of cast some vision for people. So what has having VAs in your business done for both your business, your day-to-day operations, and also like what you see possible for your business and for your life?
Oh, it's changed my life. Like you've seen, and a VA is an employee. That's one thing a lot of people get wrong. Like if you can hire on a really good person, then it's an employee. I have people who work in my call center have bachelor's degrees.
Nice.
We had someone who had a bachelor's degree in like, what was it? Some science from UCLA who was working in my call center.
Wow.
Right. And so like you can get really, really talented people. Most of the people in the Philippines have degrees. Most of the people in the Middle East and India have degrees as well. For me now, like it's made my call center so easy. Like you saw what I have to do in my call center pretty much on the daily. Like I just have a phone call. Hey, what's going on? What are our KPIs? Where are our issues? Have you solved those issues yet? If not, why not? We haven't solved because of this. Okay, well, we should do this. And then that's my day in my call center if I'm not talking to my partner. As far as like the day-to-day goes, we have someone who manages our entire leadership team. We have sales coaches, quality assurance people, and they're all VAs. Like it is all super hands-off.
So transitioning this to like the E-Myth, you went from being a technician in your business to basically being a manager of people who are doing all the technician stuff for you now.
Exactly. And I mean, you have to get to a point where you have revenue coming in to supply these people, right?
Right.
And pay for their stuff. But in my real estate business, it freed up a lot of time with a leads manager, just someone following up with all the nonsense leads and touching on them. And that gives me more time to work on my other businesses.
Yeah. And guys, just so you can know the evolution that I've seen from Stratton is last year, just literally pounding the phones every single day and was strictly just wholesaling. And then it was just like one day I looked up and I'm like, hey, how many LLCs do you have now? and and really the big difference, because I mean, and this is something that we talk about all the time, you know, it's keeping your blinders on and staying in your lane. But then once you master your lane and you figure out how to automate it and also grow it at the same time, that's when you can start to say, hey, what else do I want to do with my business, with life? And I just saw you basically mastering and automating and scaling this wholesaling business through virtual assistants and being like, hey, you know what, why don't I start building my passive income? And you started, you know, the subject to and creative financing business with me. And then you went off and you're doing things left and right. You're doing Amazon stores, you're doing all this stuff. And but the big thing that I've been really impressed with is that you got so good at the VAs that people started coming to you and being like, hey, can you set me up with a VA, because I don't know where to start with this. So why did you start a business? Call Magicians is the name of it. Why did
Yeah.
you start Call Magicians, and did you see a need for it?
Um, the dude, our JV money. So at the beginning of the year when we JV'd on some marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and I gave this dude $3,000, and I closed the deal with him before, and I was like, okay, I got some JV partners. I'd love to give you guys some more money. He's like, okay, same thing, pay it up front. And I was like, but if I do this, I need KPIs, I need call recordings. I'm handling this other people's money. So we're going to have to, I need everything to be on the up and up. I knew the guy from a couple conferences. I was really close to his wife. We ate dinner, all this stuff. I'd known him for a year or so. And a month goes by and I got 3 fucking leads. We were out $3,000, and then I ended up covering your marketing money the next month.
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
I was like, man, I can do this shit so much better. And I was super mad.
Yep.
And so I went to another call center, and I got to a point to where I had what's it called? I had like 6 or 7 callers with them. And one day they like none of them delivered leads. I was like, what do you mean not a single person delivered a lead? If my 3-year-old is on the phone for that many hours in the day, they're all calling for 8 hours a day, and we got 7 people on there. Like, what do you mean there's not a single lead when it's new data?
Right.
And so I got really upset with that, and I fired all of them, and then I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to bring them all in house again, do it that way. And then people just kept asking me like, hey, can you set me up with a VA? Can you set me up with a VA? And I was like, let me just see what I can do with this. And I brought on my partner, Chase Hancock, and it's really taken off.
So 2 things I take away from that: if you want to do it right, do it yourself. And you're welcome. I helped you start the VA business because because I gave you something to do. I didn't know that, man. That's the first time I've heard that. So
That's
I
why I
mean,
covered the marketing money. That's why
yeah,
I was like, we didn't get any leads. We didn't get any leads because we got fucked.
yeah.
And I was super mad. And he screwed over Adam too. He took all his money too.
Jeez. Yeah. So um let's talk about what you're doing differently compared to some of these other services, because it sounds like these are people that are probably promoting what they're doing and want to get more clients, but then as soon as they got someone like you who wasn't happy, you know, that's no way to be doing business. So what was it that you saw, aside from just straight up leads? What are you doing differently than these other people were?
I'd say this runs like an actual business compared to a lot of other ones.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really good companies out there, but a lot of times people just go choose a Joe Schmo company. They don't put a lot of money into their employees and training. All of our employees have 2 sales coaching calls a day. We have cultural games all day. We have, for anyone who's struggling with like a certain word, we have language classes, like just for them to work on like tongue placement.
Wow.
Right. Like, and this is all going to that. We have someone listen to all their calls all day, and then they get a one-on-one coaching session every week too. And that's just with our callers.
You said cultural games. What do you mean by that?
I want them to know all of our current events. So they're playing Jeopardy and Hangman, knowing what's going on, know what's going on in politics, know what's going on in sports. So that way they can carry on a conversation if anything comes up.
That is so cool. I mean, were these things that you knew going in that you were going to have to do, or have you just kind of learned along the way that, you know, you need to be able to implement things to help them stay up to date on all the cultural events?
Learned on the way and knew what I wanted. And then now, because again, I have employees, I don't have to worry about my time being invested into them. I tell this person, hey, I want this implemented. Will you get this done by Friday? And they do it.
That's awesome.
And
So
so
guys, what we're talking about here is the definition of real estate. Real estate is so awesome because you can literally create systems around your business, no matter if you're an Airbnb, creative financing, flipping, wholesaling, anything. There's people that can do what you're doing and help you to just go focus more on the money making activities. And so to me, like there's nothing more powerful than a virtual assistant that can actually help you go do that. And so I guess my question is for you, Stratton, what are some like stories of people that have had success hiring you on to do this? I know you've told me a few, but I want our audience to hear it too.
one of our clients closed 3 deals in his first month with one caller.
That's
Another
amazing.
one closed 1 a week his first month with one of our callers. Some other people are getting, and we do listings as well for like, so we'll send them listing leads. And so we have stuff like that all the time. Another one of our clients closed 3 last month. And so we provide quality leads. And then we have our sales coach and our quality assurance person and like our client relations manager have a call with our clients every week to make sure that like we're taking their business the way they want to go, or like they're saying the right things on the phone. Some people are picky, and we want to know, how can we help you build the business you want? And I'm super big on that because I'm so big on value and providing value, and that's how I know we'll keep our clients.
That's awesome. And these are all strictly for real estate, right?
Real estate, we do some solar, and then we're looking into the insurance and healthcare business.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's the great thing. Someone's listening right now and they're saying, "Hey, I got this wholesaling business. I'm struggling to get leads," or "Hey, I have plenty of leads. I just want to stop talking to sellers." That's the perfect person for this kind of service. Am I right?
Oh yeah, we do leads managers too, texters as well. And for the texters, they'll text them all, and then they'll hop on the phone with them to qualify the lead. And then the leads managers will do all of your follow up for you, talk to all your clients. We put in so much effort into them, and you have a lot more of a hands on feel with them because that's the first touch point in your business besides a cold caller.
Okay. So these are people. I mean, a client comes on, they're not just having a relationship with you. They actually talk to their callers as well.
Somewhat, if it's a leads manager, hands down, they will.
Okay.
Because the leads manager is a lot more in your business. They need to be a lot more, they need to be a lot smarter to know when a lead's about to pop and all that other stuff. And some people just have different types of business models. Again, we talk to our clients all the time to see if we're fitting their model the way they want it to be.
Okay. So some people right now are listening and they're like, "Yeah, that's fine, but I want to build a VA system for my business myself." And they're more the DIY types of people without giving away all the secrets, maybe 2, 3 things right away that they need to know if they want to get started in finding a VA.
Um, you got to put in the effort into them if you want them to last. Like you actually got to train them up. And that's one thing I tried to get away with for so long. Just find a really qualified person and then throwing them on there and not putting in a lot of effort into them. And then it never went the way I wanted it to. But obviously, you're setting that person up for failure.
Okay.
If you want to find VAs of your own, you need to go to like Upwork.com, onlinejobs.ph, and Craigslist in any area that you want, and whether that's South America or Philippines.
So you don't have any in the US, right?
No.
Is there a reason that you don't want to do it in the US?
Pay rate, profitability, and payroll taxes.
Yep. Okay. So, and that's something that's really cool. I have a few VAs myself, guys. When I went to my CPA and said, "Hey, I got this person working for me in the Philippines. How do we track that on expenses?" I think you got told the same thing, Stratton. They were just like, "Yeah, just put it down as marketing expenses because we can't really send them payroll." So, um, until a president comes in that makes it just as easy to to hire people within the U.S., this is just an amazing way for people to be able to just expand their business at a very, very low cost. And I think it's awesome because you have people in these other states like the Philippines that are just so grateful for being able to make that kind of money, which is at the end of the day, like, I don't know about you, but I find myself having great relationships with my VAs. They do, like you said, feel like employees. It doesn't feel like we're just outsourcing something. It feels like they're actually part of the team. What are other things that you really enjoy about, working with your VAs?
I mean, I love my team. There's no way we could have grown as far as we have without our team. Getting to know them more, And for you guys, anyone who has a VA, and as you start doing like daily and weekly meetings, I always ask them, what's one thing that happened to you yesterday that was really good and something you're grateful for? And it gets them to open up about their life and what's going on in their life and their family and everything else. And that way you can actually build a relationship with them and you can show them that you care more.
That's really good. I'm taking a mental note on that one. I need to start asking that question.
They're employees. Like, I don't care what anybody says, like, there's no difference between, let's say you have a virtual employee in Wisconsin and they're handling all the same things for you. Like, they still need all the emotional nourishment.
Yeah.
They want to feel needed. They want to feel appreciated. So you got to show them all those things. You got to make it a culture and a community for them, not just I got to log into my computer and do my work. Very few people do that. People are working in our call center because we have such a strong culture and community.
That's good. All right, guys. So once again, if you want to go and get this thing started, all you got to do is check out Call Magicians. I'm going to make it really easy for you. bit.ly/Call Magicians. We're also going to have that link on the show notes, which is going to be fearlesskyle.com/Call Magicians. So either one of those, bit.ly/Call Magicians. That'll get you set up right away. Or if you want to just go to the show notes, fearlesskyle.com/Call Magicians. Anything else you want to say about VAs or Call Magicians, Stratton?
Check out Rocket Skip Tracing too. That's our skip tracing company.
Okay. I have one more question for you. What's one thing that you're grateful for today?
There's one thing I'm grateful for today. I got to decorate the tree with my family. That was really
That's good. That's good, man. Well, hey, I'm grateful to have you in my business, my life, and call you a good friend, man. I appreciate you. All right, guys, one more time on the show notes for that one, fearlesskyle.com/Call Magicians. It'll have the link to directly to Call Magicians as well. But this is just such if you're bogged down with leads, if you don't want to be on the phone all day long, or if you're not getting enough calls, this is the perfect solution. It's a perfect fit for anyone that is in wholesaling, flipping, getting any sort of real estate that they need leads, off-market leads coming their way. That is exactly what you're going to get when you hire Call Magicians. So I just love the community that he's building too. That is the definition of building a business that is going to be around for a long time, when you have people that are happy, that are working for you. And that's exactly what he's got. So once again, fearlesskyle.com/Call Magicians, and you can get hooked up with Stratton. All right. Thanks for joining us here on the Fearless Investor Podcast, where we're helping you to conquer the world of investing. We'll see you next time.